So, I was reading not many M.R. James, I was reading Edith Wharton when I was 6 years old. I mean, specifically this book called, an anthology called 50 Years of Ghost Stories that had some great M.R. James, E.F. Benson, oh gosh, who else did we get? Le Fanu, obviously. Um,
Yeah.
and so, I basically, that's where I began. Really. My mother used to let me use her adult ticket in the local public library so I could take out all these things. And in fact, I was never stopped. The only time I remember I was stopped by a librarian who said, "Oh, no, no, you mustn't take that," was Gogol, was Dead Souls. I don't know why, but, uh, you know, um, horror stories were perfectly fine insofar as they could be found. In those days, mind you, we talk about the early 1950s. They were mostly packaged as ghost stories or supernatural stories, but there was a great deal of overlap with horror. And basically,
Mm.
I suppose I'd already fallen in love with it in a kind of nervous way, even younger than that. I mean, I sought out stuff that was frightening, basically, whatever form it might take. I mean, initially children's fiction or fiction packaged as being for kids, like Hans Andersen. Well, I mean, Hans Andersen wasn't particularly writing for children, and certainly some of his, darker and bleaker stuff is much more pitched at an adult audience, I think. And I still remember The Little Mermaid and the whole episode where she's transformed and basically separate, her tail is separated, and depending on the translation you read, she feels as if she's walking on barefoot on broken glass or on open razor blades. I think it was in the edition I had. And eventually, in the very last paragraph, the angels come and bear her up. But I got to tell you, I always believed more in the razor blades than the angels. Even that young, which tells us something about me, I don't doubt. Um,